Let's move over to the NBA playoffs, and the Rockets fell to the Spurs in Game 2. That series all tied at 1 game apiece. Here's Rockets coach Mike D'Antoni on the Spurs' defensive adjustment.
We had 58 points up on the board in the first half, so it's more we didn't give ourselves an opportunity to get out and transition more. And that was they played harder. We didn't quite have the fight like the other night, and it's a series. It's 1-on-1, and we got to, we'll gather ourselves a little bit in Houston. We know it's not easy. These guys are good, and super well coached, and you knew they were going to have a reaction, and they did. Now it's our turn to react.
Tim, the Rockets scored 126 points in Game 1, only 96 in Game 2. We've talked about James Harden's struggles. Folks can check out his stat line on the screen. 3 of 17, Tim. Does it all boil down to that? When James Harden is off, this whole team is going to struggle?
Yeah, I mean, James Harden is the most valuable player in the NBA. Well, maybe the second most.
Depending on who you ask.
You and I thought that he was going to win the award probably up until the last month of the season, right?
Indeed, for sure.
Westbrook goes crazy, and we all think Russell Westbrook's going to end up winning the award. But, CT, this was a 5-point game going into the fourth quarter.
That's crazy.
They put him on the bench.
Yep.
They get outscored in the fourth quarter, 33-13. That was the game. It's 5. They go on a 9-0 run, push it to 14. They can never get back in the game. So what's Mike D'Antoni going to do? You got to take him out. You got to give him some rest. It was almost similar to what happened with Westbrook. How many leads did the Thunder blow?
A ton.
When they're winning, he comes out of the game, then they're losing. It's exactly what happened with Westbrook against the Rockets. Now the Rockets versus the Spurs. I think the Rockets are going to be fine.
Okay.
You think the Spurs have 3 more games and go out and get 121 points?
Probably not. I don't know if Kawhi is going to be as efficient. What was he, like 14 of 17? Is that what he shot from the floor? I mean, he was very efficient.
13 of 16.
13 of 16. I mean, he was very efficient. I feel like, and I know we're kind of talking about the Rockets, Kawhi has to get you 30. Like, to me, that has to be the recipe for the Spurs because you can't count on anybody else. There will be other guys to help, but Kawhi only had 21 in the first game. So the same way you feel like James Harden has to be on, Kawhi has to be on. I don't think they have to score 126, but he has to get you 30.
Yeah, I just think that the Spurs are like, okay, cool. You guys want to go up and down and score? Then we're going to have to get guys that put buckets up. Tony Parker, LaMarcus Aldridge, Jonathan Simmons, all those guys were in double figures to go along Kawhi's outstanding performance. But if I'm Mike D'Antoni, I leave San Antonio like these guys are playing at our pace.
Yeah.
Harden played terrible in game number 2. We're down 5 going into the 4th.
Yeah.
And we won game 1 handily. You go back to Houston, you feel good. Flip side, like the Wizards, both of their games in Boston, they're up big in the first half.
Won.
They lose. I think Washington goes back to D.C. like not happy. I think the Rockets go back to Houston like, we got these guys.
Hands down. Because as you talk about, if you're the road team, you really only need to get a split. If you get 2, that's icing on the cake. But they got the first one, so they took care of business.